Yes.
Cool. Okay. So when it comes to the pitch, and this will be more interactive, what is the purpose of our pitch? Like, what are we trying to achieve with a pitch?
Solve their problems.
Solve their problems? What
We're
else?
trying to align everything that they just said to exactly what they need to succeed and what our program offers them.
Align solution. Yeah, I'll take that. What else?
Alleviate concerns, answer all their questions.
Answer questions. Okay, cool.
Excitement.
Just excitement in general, not build it, not create, just excitement.
Um,
Build
yeah,
it.
excitement. Yeah.
Just excitement. I love it. Okay. Yeah, I mean, all of this is pretty accurate, right? The way I personally look at a pitch, like what is a pitch? So the idea of a pitch is to make the prospect believe that this is the perfect solution that they've been looking for their whole life. Like that's the idea behind everything. Is our job as a closer is whatever problem they have. So your discovery is a direct representation of your discovery. So your discovery is key to your pitch because everything that they have in here, so whether it's pain, whether it's their situation, whether it's like whatever it is, right? Whether it's their fucking limiting beliefs as well, limiting beliefs. Like all of this stuff, the only reason that we get it is for our pitch. It's the only reason we get it because the pitch is the only thing that actually should change every single call. Now, when I talk about change, what do I mean? What do we change in our pitch every single call?
Which pillar we introduce first?
Yeah, so the pillar is the one thing that I change every single call. What else?
I'd also say to eliminate aspects that we know they're not going to care about that our solution offers.
Okay, give me an example.
So if it's we'll just say a weight loss program,
Mhm.
and we both understood that their biggest problem was not eating the right foods that they want, I would remove probably a lot of the discounts on supplements or uh, bench press modules that we have in the program. I wouldn't mention that.
I would. I would always
You would.
mention them. So the first pillar that we mention is going to be their number one problem, right? Like if we were on a call, Johnny, and the first thing that you like the entire call, all you're talking about is I'm not disciplined, I'm need accountability, I need this, I need that. That is my first pillar every single time. Like that's all I care about. But then what I do is I tie this, your number one problem, into the second pillar. So let's use that example again. So let's use the example of like a weight loss program, and all you've struggled with was nutrition. You struggle with accountability and nutrition. When I go on to the training section, what I'm going to do is I'm going to build the gap by explaining why this is so important. And the only way that you're going to be able to see how important it is with this being solved. So the reason that this isn't valuable to you when you first get on the call or right now while we're talking is because you don't have this solved. So now not only am I solving your biggest problem, I'm also solving your future problem that you didn't even know you had yet. So now my product goes from, okay, this is going to move me one rung up the ladder in my life to, holy shit, this is going to move me two, three, four rungs up the ladder. So you use this as your anchor basically. This is where you can close them just off the first problem, but this is where you really make sure that they're not gonna go anywhere else because now they're so sure that their first problem is going to be solved, which is going to unlock the rest of their life. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I see. Because in the past, it's been a situation once they get onboarded, then they see the future problems that they have. But the way that you're saying it is, it actually establishes you as an authority because you're educating them that the future problems that they don't even know exist right now.
Exactly. So I'd hit you with that. Sure, your accountability is the biggest thing, so we'll solve that first. And then it goes into, and what you haven't realized yet or noticed yet is that training is now going to be your second biggest problem because you've never been consistent enough or stayed at training long enough to see the effects that bad form, bad nutrition, all of this can have on you. So that's why we also teach this. And I'm future solving your problems. And that gives you
Okay.
the foresight to see the future too with us.
Okay. And then it would be you asking, Johnny, do you understand why this is so important and blah, 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 and then get my buy-in on why the second pillar is so important.
Yeah. So that's the next section. We'll move on to the third pillar in a little bit. But what do we ask in between pillars? What's one of the most important? This is one of the most important parts of pitching.
Any reason it wouldn't work for you?
No, why not?
Hmm, I guess maybe that's too early.
Too early for what?
Like getting the tie down on because you haven't went over the entire program yet.
Nah, so a different way of thinking. Think about why that would be a negative thing to say.
Because they will start thinking about why this won't work.
They start thinking negatively, right? Our job in the
Oh, yeah.
pitch. So if you think about a call, and I know some people do goals first, I personally don't like it because the way I look at a sales call is you start here. So you start right in the middle. Oh, I can actually draw this much better. I forgot I got this. So you start here. You start right in the middle on your sales call. You don't know them. You don't know where their head's at. You don't know where their situation is. Once we go into current, our job is to get them as low as humanly possible. Obviously, within reason, right? But we want to get them as low as possible where they realize the gravity of their situation, they realize how low they are, and they realize all of the problems that they're facing. Then we move into desires, which gets them to dream and see the life that they could potentially have. Now, our pitch's job is to give them the crossroads. So there's two options with the pitch. One, you join the program and you get to continue at this high because now you're moving into the life you've always wanted. Or you don't join the program and you're going right back down to here into the pits. So inside of the pitch, my job is to keep them in this high the entire time. And the only way to do that is to be extremely positive and only use positive language. So throughout my pitch, I'm never going to ask them, do you see any reason why this wouldn't work? Because then they start to think negatively. Then the limiting beliefs come back. Then the limitations they place on themselves come back. So instead, what I'm asking throughout my pitch, so when I'm in between pillars, I'm asking, do you see how this would be the perfect solution to get you to X, Y, and Z? So throughout my pitch, I'm relating it to exactly where they want to go to. It's not a case of, oh, will this help you to do something? No, it's do you see this as the perfect solution to get you to here? And when you pitch properly, they always say yeah. They're always buzzing and they're always so excited by the prospect because they genuinely believe that it's going to get them there. And that's how you keep them in this upbeat state and this upbeat frame of mind as to where you can just steamroll them. And they just buy straight away because they're so excited by the prospect of being part of this program and taking their life from where they are now to where they want to get to. Does that make sense?
I got a question.
Go for it, bro.
The first, like, if you go back to the drawing that you just did, like the first time it goes down, like before it goes down, should it get a little bit of goals? So just have something to refer back to.
But like, so yeah, I understand your question, but let me explain why you don't go up before you go down.
Yeah,
So think about it. If I ask you, what's your goal, Herman, in life? What's your goal?
just freedom, like total freedom.
Okay, cool, man. Did you get any dopamine saying that?
No.
Okay, now if I ask you, when we talk about that freedom, Herman, and you imagine yourself having that freedom, what does that actually look like for you? And try to be as vivid for me as possible.
I mean, total time freedom, like I don't have a time schedule, don't care where to go, what to do, just like do whatever I want, literally.
And what would you do with that time? Hypothetically, say you had it today, what would you do?
Go on hikes, travel the
And
world.
look, now you're smiling, right? Now you're starting to
Yeah.
get that dopamine
Yeah,
because
yeah.
now you're picturing that version. So that's where this raise comes from, is because you start to gain that dopamine. But when I ask you what's your goal and you say I want freedom and I can go into that freedom, it's not going to change this line drastically. But
Yeah.
when I start to hit you with the, well, why are you not doing what you need to and getting into your current situation, you end up down here. But when you end up down here, it makes it a lot easier to get you higher up here too.
Yeah, for sure. I get what you're saying. And then the other question I have is in the pitch, I know you said you gotta like ask them, hey, do you feel like this is the perfect solution? You know, you do see how this will be the perfect solution to get you to XYZ. Like right now, what I'm asking them is like, do you have any questions, concerns, comments, clarity on anything
So
before I get into the first step?
I ask that after this. So any cues.
Ah, okay.
So you can tailor this though, because so the way that I like to pitch, and this is something that you really need to get really good at active listening to be able to do this, and it's something that I picked up along the way. But you ask them, does it solve a specific problem? So when I pitch you a specific solution to one of your specific problems. So I say, this will solve X, Y, and Z problem for you. Here's how. And then my question is, do you believe this would solve X? And then I remind them and I say, okay, what would that do for you if that was solved? And then I go like a mini discovery, not fully, but just that one question of, again, remind me, what would that do for you? Oh, it would do X, Y, and Z. Okay, and when it comes to this pillar, do you have any questions, concerns, or queries? No, it sounds amazing. Okay, awesome. And then I move on.
Hmm.
Again, I'm getting like three tie downs throughout because I get one for pillar one, one for pillar two, one for pillar three. And every single one of those tie downs isn't, do you think this will work? It's, will this solve the specific problem that you got on the call for? Yeah. Okay. How do you say no to that?
Yeah. And when you do that though, right? Like a B2C prospect, like I understand someone who, let's say, has some knowledge on the business model or something, they could have specific issues. But when it's like just an average like prospect, what are you connecting it to? Because every single answer in my eyes would be just, yeah, I'd have more money, more freedom, more money, more freedom. Like for each question.
But why is
What?
that a problem? Like, why don't they already have the money?
Yeah, but it's hard to envision like what they would answer
So give me an
because
example of like a common piece of pain that you get on your offer, and I'll show you right now.
Um, I would say like having to go to work instead of doing what you love to do,
Okay. And what do they love to do?
like spend time with their family.
Okay. And what does your offer do again for everybody watching?
Passive income from multifamily real estate.
Okay. So what's one of your pillars? You just give me one of the ones that includes passive.
One of the pillars, I mean, that would be group calls.
Okay, so group calls. All right. Or give me a different one. The group call is the hardest one to relate to this one.
The one-on-one support from the offer owner directly.
One-on-one support. Okay, cool. So all I'm gonna do throughout this is I'm just gonna say, and obviously I know we talked about going to work earlier and how much that frustrates you having to travel for work and be out of the country and do X, Y, and Z thing. That's why we have the one-to-one support. The idea behind the one-to-one support is that we can get you there as fast as humanly possible. I mean, let me ask you, Ermin, do you feel like if you had, I don't know what your offer owner is called, if you had George in your corner every single day that you could call on, that you could ask for, you would get to your goals quicker or slower?
Well, much quicker.
Exactly. And with the one-to-one support, what you're going to be able to do is create that passive income and get to X, Y, and Z. Do you feel like if you had that one-to-one support, you'd be able to generate that passive income in the next 6 to 12 months like you've always dreamed of?
Yeah, I don't think there would be any reason why it wouldn't.
Okay, awesome. And so just so we're clear, and then we go back to this, right? Just so we're clear, do you believe that working one-to-one with George's support would allow you to build that passive income to allow you to stop working and spend that time with your family?
Yeah, I think so.
So again, you'd have a much more fleshed out pitch that builds up a lot more because I don't know enough about your offer, right? But you see what I mean
Yeah.
is you just relate everything to this pain. Like that's all you're pitching. You're pitching the solution to their pain. And like
Hmm.
you just invent it. Like realistically, like there is no set word track for it. There is no set way to do it. You invent it as you go. But everything that you're offering will solve a problem that they're facing.
Hmm.
Does that make
Gotcha.
sense?
Yeah, it definitely does. So just gotta aggregate like three or four main issues, kind of tie them in.
Yeah, exactly.
So Jordan, on the food thing, that's because you discovered that I hate eating. I've always been overweight because I hate eating certain types of foods. And then when you go into the pitch, the first pillar is that biggest pain for me, which is we customize your meal plans so you can eat foods you actually like. Is that right? And then you
So
go to the second one?
yeah, so the nutrition plan is based around what you like, not what's the best, not what we like the most. It's completely custom and tailored to you to make sure that every single meal you have, you enjoy, you love, and you look forward to eating it every single day. And that's why we're able to generate the results we are. Do you feel like with a custom tailored meal plan based on the foods you like, there would be any reason you couldn't lose that stubborn belly fat and finally feel confident in yourself?
No, I mean, I've always just thought I'd have to eat salads all the time. So if I can
Right.
eat
And there
foods
you
that I
go.
like,
Right.
that sounds
So
great.
it's solving that specific problem. Then you move on to whatever other pillars next, but you just relate them all together. But every single pillar is just solving their biggest problem. So you get their three biggest problems and you solve each one with your pillars. That's how pitching works. Mr. Caleb?
Yeah, I'm going back like 10 minutes ago to whenever you said you were talking about in the pitch,
Mhm.
down there the chart you kind of drew down at the bottom. So you start with pain out the gate because I thought on the framework that we asked them what their goal was at the start after we asked them
Ah,
why they were on the
so,
call.
so someone wasn't listening, clearly.
Okay,
Clearly.
that I thought I heard it wrong, but I was just wanted to double check.
Herman asked the exact same question. I'll really explain it for you. So if I ask you what's your goal in life, Caleb, what do you tell me?
Okay, my goal is to start a business, freedom, like you said, to travel, live where I want to live, work remotely, have online so that I can build a great life for my family.
Okay, cool. I've got my goal. Now I'm going into pain, right? But that goal, did you get much dopamine telling me about such a vague goal?
No.
Okay. But now if I ask you, and when you talk about living that life you've always wanted to, where you're working remotely, you're traveling with your child and you're traveling with your wife, how does that make you feel and show and tell me more about what that looks like when you actually visualize it? Now I get the dopamine. So now you're going up, right?
Right.
So you
Right.
kind of, but you're not getting a raise of state. Like you're not raising their state here, but you do start with goals.
Okay.
But you
Okay,
get a
that's what I was
big
making
goal.
sure.
That's all.
I didn't know if you were talking about that at the top over there to the right. I thought that's when you were talking about. So yeah, I misheard.
No,
So, but it is before we go into the pain.
yeah, yeah. Like you still start with what is the biggest reason that made you book the call? What is the biggest goal that you're looking to achieve? What's the biggest challenge you're facing? But the main brunt of the front end of your call is going to be this pain, right? It's going to be down here. It's going to be, oh, fuck it now. It's going to be in this pain. And then this is where you go into the goals in detail. And that's where you reach the pinnacle. Then we transition into pitch and they reach this crossroad.
Okay, because normally when I ask like, "Hey, what's the goal that you're looking to get to?" I'll
Mhm.
ask like, "Why is that the goal, or what does that do for you?" Obviously, besides just making you more money. So we should wait to ask that though till
No, no,
after we're
you
done
can
with the
get
pain.
like brief stuff, but you're not having them fully visualize the goal and talk about what that's going to give them, what that's going to achieve for them, all of that yet, right?
I see. Okay.
Like, so you're still not pushing them into crazy dopamine. And I mean, realistically, with my diagram, like, take it with a pinch of salt. Like, it can look like this and then go up. Like, that ain't important. Like, all that matters is you get them down here as low as possible and then you take them up to the top. Like, what happens, like, here, like this side, doesn't really matter.
Okay.
All that matters is what happens
Like,
here.
Okay.
what happens if you like don't go up though? Like you just stay in the pain, and then you get into a pitch.
Well, then it's
Like,
going to be very hard for them to see the light at the end of the tunnel.
but what if you do that in the pitch though?
But how do you know what they want?
Well, you get it in the discovery.
But you get what? You get, well, my current pain.
Yeah, you'll
Why?
get it in the discovery though. Like the pain, like it's in the discovery.
Like you
It's
can
all there.
solve my problems, right? Sure. But like, how are you going to get me excited and willing to take a risk for a life that like I haven't even talked about? Because like, so the way you think about it, right, is on a sales call, our job is we have a person on this side of the fucking, we have a person on this side of the thing. And our job is to convince them to jump. Like that's our job, is to convince them to jump. If I never get what's on this other side of the thing, and I only have this, and I know this side's on fucking fire or whatever, right? And I'm like, you gotta jump. And they haven't talked about what's over here. There's no
Mm.
incentive to jump except this. But they don't know that this isn't also on this side too. So, yeah, potentially, but it's much easier if what you can do is you can make them to envision this other side as everything they've ever dreamed of. So when
What
you
part of
build,
the call would you call that? Like, what is that? A future pacing? Is that what you call
yeah, that's just future pacing. But
it?
like future pacing is one of the most important part of sales in general. Like if you ever buy anything, they future pace the fuck out of you. Cars, phones, solar, fucking everything. Because a lot of the reasons why we buy things are for future gain. There's very little things we buy for current dopamine. It's all future dopamine, 90% of the time. So that's why this is so important. But if they don't understand their lack of dopamine now, it's going to be very hard to make them make that jump. Does that make sense?
Not really.
What don't you get?
Like in the discovery, you'd be getting some of this though to put it into the pitch, like still, like the dream life that they want to live. But like
Okay, but
maybe not as
how much
maybe yeah,
context?
maybe not as context, like as like specifically focusing on that on the upside. But it's like I've seen guys still close with a pitch with like surface level, dream lifestyle.
Have you
But
ever seen
give
a
it a
guy who goes to the gym maybe once a week but still jacked?
no, I'm not.
I know plenty of them, right? Like, why not just do that then? Right? Like, an exception doesn't make a rule. Like, the question is, do you want to do the bare minimum that might close a few people, or do you want to do what is going to get you the best odds of closing as many people as possible?
I mean, he definitely would do the latter.
Why though? Because you can just, like get as much pain and hope they buy.
Hmm.
But
Wow. I mean, I've been future pacing fucking ages. I thought it was completely useless.
nah,
To be
I
honest with
like
you,
it. But the other way to
because
think about this
it's
too,
like it's advantage.
right? Like the other way to think about this too is which, so think about two prospects, right? So we have two prospects. They buy the program from you and they go in the program, but they struggle for like 3, 6 weeks. One of them, you didn't really go into the dream or the future at all with them. Like you didn't really even talk about it. You maybe got some brief stuff. The other guy, you made for the first time in his entire life talk about how badly he wants to achieve X, Y, and Z, how much that would mean for him, what that would look like for his family, for his kids, for himself. Out of those two, which one do you think is more likely to stick it out with the program and succeed?
The one with a clearer vision of the outcome.
Exactly, right? So although it might not make your close rate from 10 to 90%, what it is going to do is it's going to help the prospect not only, but it's also going to give you such a clearer vision on where they want to go to allow you to make your pitch that much better.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, because sometimes it's like in the discovery with the desired state, right? The desired state in their current situation. Like sometimes I will get into the desired state like quite nicely and then get into the pain, like you were mentioning. But you said there's not much dopamine in that if they don't really understand the severity of their situation.
Yeah, I mean,
Is
it's
that what you're
very hard. Well, there is dopamine, right? But think about it this way. Like how much better is a big win after a big loss?
it's fucking amazing. So yeah,
It's
I mean,
way better, right? Like, so it's not that the height is any different. Like, the height of the dopamine is the same. It's just the place that they're coming from to get to that height is either much lower or it's the same.
that makes sense.
You got
That
me
makes
now.
sense. Yeah, I do.
Fucking hell, son. You're a
So
nightmare.
Jordan, on top of that, what you're saying is if you were to go that route, the call would look like this too much from an emotional standpoint.
No, not really. It's more so that like you would just never really get like they would never feel like they would never have that big gap. Like all we're doing when we have a call that's like this, right, is we're just creating a gap. Like there's just a gap there. Like this is the way that I visualize the gap in their life between where they want to be and where they are right now. So this is the gap that we're creating.
And if we were to start the call out with getting super crystal clear dreams, outcomes, and then create the gap, what you're saying is the positioning at the
Well,
call is far less effective.
there are a bunch of people who like to do it that way, who go like this and then down and then pitch. For me personally, I find it much easier to just go down, up, and then keep them in that good state. Because here, what you need to do is you need to do a bit of rescuing and a bit of fucking getting them G'd up to then give it a chance and get them excited again. Whereas if I can just keep them in a positive state, I find that much easier personally.
Okay.
But neither is necessarily wrong. Like that's something I want to say too, is neither is necessarily wrong. I know plenty of guys who future pace first and they do just fine. But for me, I find it much smoother and I prefer when I'm on a sales call if I get current situation first into desires.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense because then you're tying that kind of that dopamine and that pacing right before you start pitching. So they're already on that high.
Exactly. They're
Okay.
already becoming that new version of themselves. They're already getting into that frame of mind. So when I pitch them the solution to get there, it's much easier to convert.
Okay. So in terms of goals, if you're getting capturing just as a couple goals, it would just be like logistics. Okay, cool. Where do you want to take the business in 12 months? Oh, we want to double our revenue. And that's it.
Nah, it's also the feeling, right? Because like we all have an imagination in terms of how we're going to feel when we achieve certain things, right? Like I'm sure Jaden, you have a feeling of how you're going to feel when you hit your first 30K month, right? Like I'm sure you think about that. Like how am I going to feel when I hit that? I think about when I'm going to hit my first half a mil month. Like how is that going to feel for me? Like everybody does it. So I always like to get the feeling as well. And I'll just ask, like, let's say 6 months, 12 months from now, you look back on this call today, and you think, wow, I actually made it to where I always wanted to be. How do you think that'll feel for you? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, I'd feel a bit surreal. Like, exactly. And you just like tie that feeling. The feeling isn't as important in desires, but I just like to get it just because it also raises their dopamine. Because if you ever think, like, if you think about someone you love or you think about someone you like, and you think about that feeling, you get some of the dopamine. So thinking
Okay.
about feelings gives you dopamine too.
So only, but at the beginning of the call, when you're just collecting data, especially for B2B.
Oh, you mean at the start?
Yeah, exactly. For the start goals, just to get
Yeah,
clarity.
I just get like data,
Okay.
and that's about it, to be honest. It's just data.
Okay. So
It,
if I was like, I want to double the business, you would just get details. You wouldn't go into the feelings at that part of the call.
no, no, no.
Okay. Then you would circle back to that after the pain and then get clarity. Johnny, what do you mean double the business? What would that do for you? That kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay.
Guys, I don't make 500K a month. Not yet. Bear with me. You
Can
fucking.
I
Of
ask a quick question?
course you can, George. Go for it.
Excellent. Back to what Jaden first said about the negative question, why we shouldn't ask it. Curious to know your thoughts. How I close my pitch before I price drop, I go into social proof, and
Mhm.
right after that, I ask them like if X, Y, and Z can do these results. Then if you are showing up every day doing X, Y, and Z, would there be any reason why you cannot do the same or more results? They'll always say, no, there's no reason. I price drop and get them in. But is that a negative question I'm asking? I never thought about it like that.
No. Um, no, it's building them up. Like
Okay.
if me asking you, because it's a trick question, right? Because they're never
Yeah.
gonna say no.
Yeah.
Like they're never gonna say no. And what it does is it builds certainty with them. So they think about it and then they go, holy shit, he's right. Because you've already built the excitement and the certainty that they're like, yeah, this is gonna work, this is gonna solve X, Y, and Z problem. Okay, cool. Now you tie them down to, is there any reason you can fail? No. Okay, now they literally have no reason not to buy.
Cool, bro.
Easy, bro. Herman?
Just like where does the consequence go then in the call? If you go up and then you just pitch, where do you like?
I don't really do consequence, to be honest. I kind of sometimes do it, but a lot of times not. A lot of the times, like the way I think about consequence is if I spend my entire call asking you, like, why do you need to change? Why isn't what you're doing working? All of this. And then I get into your goals and I say, okay, well, what happens if nothing changes? Like, if somebody asked me that, and like I got asked this on my first ever sales call, and I remember my response. This is what put me off consequence. I said, well, exactly what we've been fucking talking about for the last 20 minutes. What do you mean? That's what I said to him. I was like, what a stupid question. Like, if nothing changes, the exact same thing I've been talking about for 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel asking it, to be honest. But I was
Like,
like,
I
well,
don't ask it. I ask it throughout my call. So, like, when I'm on a
mm,
call, like, let's say we're talking about the impact that your work's having on you, I'll ask you then, I'll say, okay, and let's say, Herman, that you decide to carry on taking the actions you have been for the past 6 to 12 months. Where are you going to be another 6 to 12 months down the line if nothing changes? So I'm consequencing you on everything that you're telling me in discovery. I don't hit you with one random consequence at the end of your future pace because it's
yeah,
pointless. It is just a stupid question.
yeah. I'm not gonna ask consequence anymore. Just about
Yeah,
discovery.
like I remember, I won't name drop him because he watches my videos. But he asked me, and I genuinely looked at him like he was retarded. I was like, "What the fuck is that question?" So yeah,
Yeah,
avoid it.
gotcha. I'll just do it throughout discovery then.
Yeah, much better. Caleb?
Dude, I swear, like the offer I'm on, they look at you like you're retarded if you ask like the opening question. Like, is it the offer I'm on, or is it the way I'm asking? Or like today, I literally had a call with a woman, and I was like, "What has you on the call today?" She just freaking like lost her mind at the question.
What did she say?
Like, she's like, why would you ever ask me like how much I'm making? Why would you ask me like tell me about the pro? And like I tried to reframe it like four different times and like it just wasn't going anywhere. But that's a lot of the prospects on my offer. Like they don't want to they don't want to tell you how much they make. They don't want to answer any questions like and I'm like, what am I doing wrong?
Okay, so when they ask like why are you asking these questions? Like what do you say? Like if I said to you, I said, Caleb, listen, man, like why the fuck are you asking me this?
I normally say because I have to have an understanding of where you're at now before we can find out if we can help you and how we can help you and actually build you out a plan to get you to your goals. In order to do that, I have to understand your current situation.
Okay.
And then if they push back again, I'll say, look, you came here for my help and I'm asking you some pretty basic questions and you're not answering them. So how am I supposed to help you?
Well, I don't know, man. I was hoping to see what you guys offer and then just yeah, come back to you, like just see what you guys offer.
Yes, I understand that, right? But we're not like looking to just sign absolutely anyone up with a pulse and a credit card. Like we have to actually know if this is something that can help you and if we can work with you to get you to your goals.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in real estate. I'm doing like three deals every 3 months. Like I'm making okay money, but you want to use social media to grow. So can you guys help me or not?
Yeah, we can definitely help you,
Oh, okay,
right?
cool. So
But
what is it that you guys do?
I can get into what we do later on, but if we want to have like a conversation around how we can actually help you and what your current situation is, like that's the way we do the call. Like if you don't want to do that, then like we can get off the call.
Okay, see you there.
Okay.
So like why doesn't that work? Like why do you just get steamrolled? And that's an open question for everybody, by the way. That isn't just for you.
Is
Because I
it
imagine
because
you're just gonna say, well, I don't fucking know, Jordan. That's why I'm asking you. Which would have been reasonable.
is it because we seem like we're hiding the answer? Like we don't want to tell them?
Hiding?
What
No.
do you do? I'll tell you later on.
I think I think the logic just stops being logical and then they just get triggered at that.
Yeah, it's like it makes sense, but then they still want to defend their position because they know I'm right. Like I have to understand your situation.
No. I mean like so you ask all those questions that you asked and then you get to the last one and then they ask you, yeah, so and then they give you a little bit of context and then they're like, yeah, so that's my situation. What do you do to help me? And at that point, what can you realistically say? Like you kind of know enough about them to conclude that possibly you can help them.
So
So,
the
so
number one tool to avoid this, right, is to actually build a bit of trust with them. And I know that might seem hard off the initial question, right? So what you do here is what we call a mini pitch. And I'm actually going to make a video on this for the WAP on how to do this. But you mini pitch them. So what you do is you just explain the model. So you explain like a little bit about how it works and you explain briefly what it is. And then you say, that's a brief understanding. Does that make sense before we move any further? Yeah, it does. I have a few questions. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to go over the personalized version for you shortly. But before I do, I just need to get a little bit more information from you in terms of your personal situation, your performance, stuff like that. Would I be okay to just ask a few questions, 5, 10 minutes most? Yeah, cool. And because you've done something from them, they trust you. And now you're able to overcome this.
Are you giving them frame though, or no?
Not really, because I'm still leading the conversation. And if I would to give them frame would be a case of I mini pitch, they ask me a question, then I go back. Like I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, let me answer that question. No. So all I'm doing is building trust because let's say that you don't give them some frame. Like you need to give away a little bit of frame. Like what happens to this lead? Like what happens to these leads when they just absolutely smoke you, Caleb?
They either they get like, well, they don't really leave anymore. Like I've gotten to the point where I can keep them on the call, but they always freaking say they want to think about it because they held the frame the whole call. So then they're going to decide how it ends too.
Exactly, right? And that's because they're like a little bit burned by you because they don't trust you anymore. Because they feel like you're just trying to sell them and because that's all you're hell bent on doing. Whereas if I build a little bit of trust with them by mini pitching, the other thing that I can do is buy back my frame. So throughout the call, I can buy back my frame by asking certain questions and leading them a certain way. So I can get the frame back. Sure, I might need to give it away to start with just to keep them on the call and keep them happy, but that's fine because I can buy it back when I call them out, when I challenge them, when I confront them, and I can get the frame back. But what I can't do is get them to like me if they instantly hate me. Like if I instantly get on the call, ask them a question, they go, "Why the fuck you at?" and I start arguing with them, I ain't saving that. But if I give them a little bit of an insight, build some trust, and give them a tiny bit of the frame, I can always get that back.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Yeah, it does. So it's just kind of like giving in a little bit to get them to calm down and then just taking the frame back after that.
Exactly. It's diffusing the situation. It's like taking the higher road, right? So you're diffusing the situation a little bit and then you're moving on.
Okay, cool.
Would that be a problem with like how that call is actually framed though before he takes it, like the pre-call process? Like it would have to be the coldest
Yeah,
Facebook
yeah,
leads of all time.
probably. But that's like cold leads. Like we used to, like my last ever closing offer I was on, we were doing 6 mil a month, completely cold. Bro, these guys would get on the call. You'd say, yo, what made you book the call? And they'd be like, I have no idea who you are. You got 5 minutes. Tell me. And we were closing the fuck out of these guys. Like we were pimping
Man,
them for
fuck.
25, 30K. Like we were killing them. But it was like
How?
through this like
Okay.
I'd build trust with them. Like I'd start the call and I'd say listen, I'm gonna need slightly more than 5 minutes. I'm not a miracle worker, but what I can do is I can break down exactly who we are, what we do, everything, so that it seems like the best fit for you. Would that be fair? Yeah, for sure. Okay, cool. So what we do here at AI acquisition, and then I break it down a little bit, and then they'd get inquisitive, and I'd say, okay, that's a brief understanding. Is this something you're interested in? Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. Now, what I'm going to need from you is I need to understand your situation a little bit better, a little bit more about you, just so that I can tell you exactly how this is going to be perfect for you. Because now I've got them, I've got the curiosity. Now they want to know more, but I'm the only one who knows more. So now I can go, no, no, no more until you give me this.
Do you actually only go 5 to 10 more minutes when you say that, or do you just
Fuck
go out?
no.
Okay,
Absolutely not. But I need like a small level of commitment, right? Like I just need,
okay,
like I need them to commit to answering some questions. But by the time you
yeah.
get into a discovery, like if I'm running a good discovery, 5, 10, like 20, 30 minutes feels like 5 to 10.
Oh yeah,
So they don't even notice the time. Like I've never had a guy who goes, "That's your 10 minutes, buddy. Tell me what it is." Like I've never had that in my life.
yeah,
But it's also based on the quality of your discovery. Like if your discovery sucks, then they're probably going to notice.
yeah, yeah. Because like today with her, like I did what me and you did just now. That was wrong, and she like said how much she was making a month, And then she said a different number like 5 minutes later, and I was like, fuck, she's literally just making stuff up because she didn't want to answer my question.
Yeah, and that all comes back to this. Like a lot of people talk about it like in this space, like you don't need rapport, you don't need trust. You fucking do. It's sales. Like they need to trust you and they need to like you a little bit. Like that's just human character. So like if you need to get a bit of trust, don't be afraid to sacrifice some frame for it.
Okay, awesome.
Nicola?
With the mini pitch, would you use the same pillars as you previously
No, no,
explained?
no.
Because
So
like,
I'm just selling vehicle. So I'm just selling like what a
okay,
brief overview. I'm not actually getting into like personalized, tailored details.
yeah,
This is
exactly.
just
Because you were gonna start by getting the dream, and that was already
yeah, yeah.
personal, which was what they were shifting away from.
So this is
Okay,
literally
amazing.
just to build trust in the model. That's all it is.
Yeah. Okay, amazing. Thank
Cool. Osman, camera off, loser. Herman.
I mean, when like I understand the part where they ask you like, "Hey, what do you guys do?"
Hmm.
But when they ask you about the price at the start, um, like all the reframes are like, "Yo, but I don't even know if we can help you." Like all that doesn't work. Like there's like, why does it matter? How much does it cost? Like, how do you like not tell them the price without it being like weird?
Um, I always found this one super interesting. Like, what's the price? I always just say to them, I just say, listen, I'm gonna come to the price. The last thing I'm gonna do is say, Herman, what's your 16 digits? And you're gonna go, well, how much does it cost? Oh, I'm not gonna tell you, man. Just give me your card details. Like, that's obviously never gonna happen. In terms of our pricing, it's completely bespoke to you. So what we charge depends on the level of support you need and the exact solution that you're looking for. So if you're okay with it, what I'd love to do is get a better understanding of where you are, walk you through our solution, and then if it makes sense, I'll walk you through our pricing. But the last thing I'm going to do is just charge your card without telling you how much it is. Does that sound fair?
Hmm. If they go back on that, they're like, yeah, that makes sense. But like ultimately, and then they give you like a little bit of data, and they're like, yeah, so like I mean, for that situation, like you must know, you speak to a lot of people, like how much would it be for me roughly? Like you can give me a range or something.
Between 0 and 100K.
Yeah, but like realistically.
I mean, I don't know. I still don't know enough about you. Like, literally, man, I know you're excited. I know you want to get in the program, but if you give me 10, 15 minutes, we're going to get to the price. I promise.
Yeah, but that like true, but it's like who's gonna believe that though, right? Like that
Believe,
you
well,
can't.
I am going to tell them the fucking price in 10, 15 minutes. Like, what wouldn't they believe? Like, what am I going to
No,
do?
but
Get
like
to the end
the
and go, all right, Herman, so what's the 16 digits, brother? Like, I'm obviously going to tell them the price.
yeah, but I mean more so like the range and stuff. Like if someone asks like
But
how much is it
they
roughly?
don't believe that. I'm telling them, like, I'm not fucking telling you, is what I'm doing. I'm going, yeah, 0 to 100K, man. Because you just asked, just give me a rough range. Sure, 0 to 100K.
Hmm.
Like, it's me saying I'm not going to answer it. The other thing you can do, and I used to do this all the time, is if somebody asks me 3 times, I just say, okay, it's 10K. I just say the price.
Hmm. And then watch their reaction.
Yeah. If you ask me
Okay.
enough, I will just tell you.
Yeah. That's what I mean, yeah, I've tried all the like what you mentioned as well now, like the 1 to 100. Like I very rarely get prospects who ask for the price, like very rarely, but
Another thing
like
you can do is I always just like when somebody says like, so just tell me the price, man. I say it's really interesting you ask that. What makes you want to know the price straight away without even knowing what we do, if it can help you, or knowing if it's the perfect solution for you? Oh, I just want to know how much it costs. Why though? Because if I tell you it's 1K, that might sound like an amazing deal, but what if we offer shit? What if I tell you it's 20K, but it's guaranteed to get you to 50K a month within the first 2 months? Yeah, okay, fair. Exactly, man. So let me walk you through exactly what we do first, and then we can come to the price.
yeah, that I see that working a
Yeah,
lot.
like you just be a little bit direct with them. Like you got to kind of shut that down because
Hmm.
it's a bad way to think. Like you're never going to be successful. The first thing you ask when you get on a call is, "Okay, bro, how much does this cost?" Like you just ain't going anywhere.
Yeah, just kind of educate them a little bit.
Yeah, exactly.
Gotcha.
Osman?
Yeah, so I wanted to ask a question regarding the last topic, like when they push you, like, why are you asking these questions?
Hmm.
Is it smart to respond with a question? Like, why do you think I'm asking you these questions? Am I asking because I want to help you or because, I want to get what?
Um, Maybe. Yeah, it can do. Depends on the prospect. But the danger you run into is you ask, why do you think I'm asking this question? Because you're trying to sell me. Because you just want to close me. I've done this before. Because you get that a lot. Where it's like, oh, because I know what you're doing. I know you just want to get like into the pain, all of this. And then you just end up in like this loop.
Okay.
So you
Yes.
can do, but I personally avoid it. I prefer just to build trust. Like I always push them back. Like when they say, "Why are you asking these questions?" I always say, "Just because I want to get a better understanding of where you're at, what's going on, and how we can actually help you, just so that I can make sure that I'm not going to sell you something that isn't going to be of any use to you." And then I carry on. And then if they push back again, that's when I go into the trust and into the mini pitch.
Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So yeah, thank you.
Easy. Johnny, wrap us up.
Yeah, so back on Herman's question. So you don't ask the question at the very end. You don't go through, well, I can't remember exactly how it was worded, but you still build cost of inaction and get clarity on the time that they have wasted, the cost on past failed attempts, correct?
Repeat the question.
Herman, you said you hated something. What was it that you hate when people ask you that? You said it was the sales person. What was it?
No, I never said I think someone like hated something. I mean, I said about the specific like when they hop on and they fuck.
Well,
Maybe I
Jordan
did say
Jordan said
something
a
like that.
salesperson asked him something he thought it was stupid. What was it?
The consequence
Yeah, the
question, like
consequences.
Consequences.
what
Yes,
happens if nothing
consequences.
changes? That retarded
Yeah.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that question, but you might not ask it that way, but you still build questions around what they haven't done and time they've wasted and costs, right? In the past,
Yeah,
Jordan.
throughout the discovery, of course. But I'm not just gonna like because the way most sales trainers teach it, like all the shit ones, is you go discovery, future pace, get to the end of the future pace, and that'd be an amazing life, wouldn't it? Okay, Johnny, what would happen if nothing changes?
Right. It's just a
And you just
stupid
look at me
exercise.
like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then I pitch you. Like it
Yeah.
just does not make a lot of sense. Like the consequence is amazing tool during discovery and tying them down to stuff, but it's useless outside of that context.
Okay. But still getting consequences, they're just woven into
Yeah,
your
yeah, of
question.
course.
Okay.
Consequence is one of the most important parts of making a decision.
Okay. Cool.
Easy. All right, fellas. Productive session. If you guys need anything.